When Pune-based, Satish and Daya Ingle were blessed with a baby boy in 2004, their joy and excitement knew no bounds. For the next 3 years, as little Prithviraj grew, life seemed to be a smooth sail for the Ingles. Until one day, a visit to the doctor jolted them to a grim and life-shattering reality.
हा आयुष्यभर विशेष व्यक्ती म्हणूनच राहील. याला कायमस्वरूपी मतिमंदत्व राहील. हा जन्मभर परावलंबी असेल. मोठा झाल्यावर याला विशेष व्यक्तींच्या हॉस्टेलमध्ये तुम्हाला ठेवायला लागेल.
The Ingles are one among millions of families worldwide grappling with the harsh realities of autism or autism spectrum disorder, ASD, a complex neurological and developmental disorder. According to a World Health Organization estimate, ASD afflicts 1 in every 160 children, more so boys, who are 4 times more likely to be autistic. The figure could be substantially higher, as very little is known about the prevalence of ASD in many low and middle-income countries. Autism begins early in childhood and lasts throughout a person's life. It is also called autism spectrum disorder because it covers a large spectrum of symptoms and levels of impairment that affect how a person acts and interacts with others, communicates, and learns. People with autism often seem to be in their own world. They might have problems talking with you, might not look you in the eye when you talk to them, might have restricted interests and repetitive behaviors, or might spend a lot of time putting things in order.
Autism is a complex neurobehavioral developmental disorder of children. Especially in the young age, the child starts having issues with 3 different components of autism. Part 1 of it is a social communication issues. The child is having fear or a distress about talking to new people, and it lands up in lots of anxieties. That is a social communication part. The second part that comes as a part of the autism spectrum is a language processing disorders. So these children, they lose language, and the words they are talking, they start fumbling over them, missing them, and ultimately they'll end up in a poor verbal communication. And the third part, which is very interesting or difficult with autism, what we call is the repetitive restrictive behaviors. So the child starts spinning around itself, Some children, they go on roaming around in the room, restless, they just can't move, and these movements are purposeless without any meaning. So a combination of these three, social communication, language processing and repetitive restrictive movements, is autism spectrum.
While the causes of autism are not known, research suggests that it is most influenced by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. It is common for indicators of autism to appear by age 2 or 3. In certain cases, development delays can be diagnosed as early as 18 months. However, some individuals start showing symptoms of a communication disorder only when demands of the environment exceed their capabilities. It is not always easy to gauge the condition.
How parents can pick up autism at a very early stage? One important notion is if a child who was speaking some words and loses that, this is called as regression, which is a very important diagnostic sign of autism. Second part where the parent can pick up is the child is okay in the family environment, but when it comes to society, gathering, meeting 4-5 people, the child is unable to cope up with the situation and starts behaving abnormally. The third diagnostic clue which a parent can remember is these children, they have a tendency of purposeless movements which are of no meaning and they are just moving around, and that is one thing which can say that this is something different from other children. And the last clue for diagnosis of autism is some funny possessiveness in children. Some children like to smell different scents, even they smell the non-related objects. So if you give a chocolate to the child instead of eating will sniff it first. Another way we can find out autism children clues is the children that talk very less in people, as well as they become irritable when they are talking to people, and they get sudden disturbances in the behavior when there is change in temperature, then change in colors. So just a loud sound, an autistic child will get disturbed. So these various complaints together help us to diagnose autism.
A diagnosis of autism is not the end of love and hope. The vast majority of people with autism are neither geniuses nor severely disabled. They are also quite different from one another.
The challenge, I would say, it starts from the beginning itself. Parents, they do have this typical mourning phenomenon wherein they feel that they have lost the normal kid which they would have had. So basically it starts from there, the acceptance of whatever, the way their kid is born. So this is the first challenge of accepting their own kid the way it is.
माझी तर मनाची पूर्ण तयारी झालेली होती, पण माझ्या पत्नीला मात्र ते लवकर स्वीकारणं जड जात होतं आणि ती ॲक्सेप्टच करत नव्हती की हे असं काही होऊ शकतं. आणि तिचं म्हणणं होतं की आपण काहीतरी वेगवेगळे औषधोपचार केले तर ह्यातनं हा बाहेर पडेल.
There is no exact medical cure, there is no medicine, there is no injection, there is no surgery for autism till today.
Although there is no cure yet for autism, there are plenty of things that can be done to help address the condition. As every child or adult with autism has unique strengths and challenges, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to autism treatment and intervention.
There are a lot of therapies available for autism, but all therapies are not needed for every child. We need to individualize therapy because needs for therapy keep changing with time. Providing a structured routine with opportunities for communication, socialization, and working for optimal behaviors is the right way for intervention.
special education holds great promise for autistic children. The most important thing to remember is that autism doesn't mean a child isn't smart or won't go on to do great things in life.
स्वतःला कसं बसं सावरून पुण्यात थेरपीज कुठे मिळतात याचा मी शोध घेऊ लागले. त्याला स्पीच थेरपी, ऑक्युपेशनल थेरपी, बिहेवियर थेरपी, स्पेशल एज्युकेटर अशा अनेक थेरपीज मी त्याला सुरू केल्या.
Autistic children have a hard time interacting with others.
In autism, the basic problem is of stimulus prioritization. This means that the children are not able to understand which stimulus they must attend to first and which stimulus they must not attend to. To give you an example, now that I am speaking to you, you are seeing me, you are also maybe getting some smells, you are hearing so many sounds around in your house, but you are not paying any attention to all that. You are only paying attention to the auditory stimulus that I am giving you. This is the basic problem in autism. Children with autism cannot prioritize which stimulus to attend to. So unless this is fixed properly, there is no point exposing the children to learning material.
A good learning intervention for an autistic child depends upon the needs of the individual child and the expectations of the child's parents.
Autistic children do not learn in a group environment. So most of the times all the instructions given need to be on one-to-one basis. Along with that, use of speech therapy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy become very essential part of their grooming.
Ball. शाबाश. आणि हे काय आहे?
Umbrella.
Very good.
Students with autism often do better in structured environments. Many of them have strong passions and deep interests. It is therefore important to know their likes and dislikes and understand what motivates them.
Teaching them singing, dance, drama, giving them vertical exposure in different activities like sporting activities definitely helps them. Use of yoga, pranayam as per their needs and their development or the percentage of autism definitely makes a difference in their lives.
In the case of Prithviraj, music turned out to be an important catalyst for change.
पृथ्वीराज 3 वर्ष सुरुवातीला रात्री झोपलाच नाही. मी त्यावेळेला मोबाईलची रिंगटोन ऐकायला द्यायची. मला असं वाटलं की याला संगीताची आवड आहे आणि गीताराम दराडेकर या सरांच्या वर्गात त्याला मी मांडीवर जवळजवळ 3.5-4 वर्ष मांडीवर घेऊन बसले आणि त्यानंतर तो 7 वर्षाचा झाल्यानंतर त्याने आ म्हटलं. पृथ्वीराज वयाच्या 8व्या वर्षी शास्त्रीय संगीताची पहिली परीक्षा प्रथम श्रेणीत उत्तीर्ण झाला. 2017 मध्ये तो दुसरी परीक्षा प्रथम श्रेणीत उत्तीर्ण झाला.
कोई नीच न कोई महान सबका सन्मति के भगवान क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम होली राधा बोले का दिल जिसने तुम्हें मौत जिंदगी कहाँ गई दिल होगा क्या हुआ तेरा वादा.
पृथ्वीराजचा पहिला कार्यक्रम झाला. पृथ्वीराजच्या सर्व गाण्यांना भरभरून दाद मिळाली. हाऊसफुल नाट्यगृह आणि पृथ्वीराजला मिळणाऱ्या टाळ्या, प्रोत्साहन, उत्साह, चैतन्य यामुळे तो दिवस आम्ही अक्षरशः हवेत तरंगत होतो.
पुण्यात अनेक नाट्यगृहांमध्ये जवळजवळ सर्व नाट्यगृहांमध्ये त्याने 200पेक्षा जास्त प्रोग्राममध्ये तो सहभागी झाला.
कह दूं तुम्हें हाँ या चुप रहूं ना दिल में मैंने आज क्या है माझे आली बाबा माझे आली बाबा 16 सिंगार मेरी बहना करेगी 16 सिंगार मेरी बहना करेगी तीगा से और हरी हरी लगेगी.
Every child is unique. Every child has his own strengths and has a different potential. The more regular the intervention, the child is going to achieve better functional outcomes.
मी जाहीर करतो की वर्ल्ड रेकॉर्डमध्ये पृथ्वीराजचं रेकॉर्ड झालं. थँक्यू, कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन.
It is said that in overcoming destiny's greatest challenges, the right weapon can make all the difference. Thanks to his parents' diligence and hard work, Prithviraj has found his weapon, music.
Parents need to stand up for their child with autism. A loving and sensitive parent goes a long way in helping the child achieve his optimal potential.
As young Prithviraj's story bears out, parents play an instrumental role in helping autistic children brave the odds and reign over their circumstances.
If the parents learn, the parent becomes the therapist, the future of management of autism becomes simple and more effective.
The use of technology to make a difference to children with ASD is increasing in school, home, as well as community settings. Rapidly advancing technologies such as robotics and artificial intelligence have the potential to help autistic children interact with others and reach their full potential.
The technology is here to stay. We know that medical research is helping in better understanding of certain causes and effects of the diseases and how the corrections can be made. The corrections could be chemical corrections or corrections could be physical corrections. Physical corrections in the form of helping certain muscles build their strength from external inputs. Say a mechanical strength member added alongside the muscular power, that essentially helps in keeping things more tight or keeping things in better shape. So, this kind of exoskeletal aspect that can be brought in, supported with robotic hardware, software, and one can essentially look at the normal behavior of people who have otherwise autistic behavior. We have to look at the technology assistance in this manner, and this technology assistance effectively providing very good environment for the autistic children to grow and become equal with the other normal persons.
According to the Indian Scale Assessment of Autism, there are approximately 2 million children with autism in India. A recent study suggests that about 1 in 100 children in India under age 10 has autism.
As these children grow up, children with autism need more employment opportunities which we as a society can provide. So as a society, I believe that we need to give our children with autism their rightful place in society which they truly deserve.
While every child may not have a trajectory like Prithviraj's, it is possible to optimize each autistic child's potential and make a difference through early and sustained interventions. Dealing with autism cannot be about the enormity of the challenge. Instead, it has to be about turning every glimmer of hope into a glistening reality.
संकट हरण